On a cold, foggy October evening, Mia was helping her grandmother clean out the attic. In the corner, hidden beneath a dusty old sheet, she found an antique mirror. Its golden frame was etched with strange, twisted symbols that seemed to shimmer under the dim light. "This used to belong to my sister," her grandmother said with a shaky voice. "She didn't like it much." Mia felt a chill run down her spine but shrugged it off. Intrigued, she brought the mirror to her room, thinking it would be a unique decoration. That night, as Mia lay in bed scrolling on her phone, she noticed something odd. In the moonlight, her reflection in the mirror seemed wrong. The room was still, but her reflection twitched ever so slightly. She blinked. Her reflection didn't. Mia gasped and turned on the bedside lamp. The reflection moved normally again, but the air in the room felt heavy. She dismissed it as tiredness and pulled the covers over her head. At midnight, Mia woke to a soft scratching sound. She sat up, her heart pounding. The noise was coming from the mirror. "Just the house settling," she whispered to herself. But then she heard it, a faint, raspy whisper. "Mia, look closer." Her blood froze. The whisper wasn't coming from the room. It was coming from the mirror. Summoning all her courage, she stepped closer and peered into the glass. At first, all she saw was her pale reflection. But then, a shadowy figure appeared behind her. Its face was obscured, but its glowing, hollow eyes burned into hers. She spun around. The room was empty. The next morning, Mia told her best friend, Lily, about the strange events. "Burn the mirror," Lily said immediately. "That's not something you mess with." Mia laughed nervously. "It's just an old mirror. Maybe I imagined it." But deep down, she wasn't so sure. That evening, she tried to ignore the mirror. She covered it with a blanket and focused on her homework. But as she turned off her light to sleep, she saw something horrifying. The blanket over the mirror moved, as if something underneath was trying to push its way out. Her chest tightened. She didn't dare move. The blanket fell to the floor on its own, revealing the mirror. There, etched into the glass, were the words, "You can't hide." Mia confronted her grandmother the next day. "What's wrong with the mirror?" she demanded. Her grandmother hesitated, then sighed. "That mirror belonged to my sister, Evelyn. She always said it showed her things, terrible things. She tried to get rid of it, but it always came back." "What happened to Evelyn?" Mia asked. Her grandmother's eyes filled with tears. "One night, we heard her screaming. When we rushed in, she was gone. The only thing left was the mirror. We never found her." Mia's heart pounded. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I didn't think it would awaken again," her grandmother said weakly. That night, Mia couldn't sleep. The mirror loomed in the darkness like a hungry beast. The whispers started again, louder this time. "Mia, let me out." Shaking, Mia approached the mirror. The shadow was there, clearer than before. It wasn't just a figure now. It had a face, twisted and grotesque, with a wide, gaping mouth that stretched too far. "Release me," it growled. "What do you want?" Mia cried. The mirror rattled violently, and the shadow pressed its hands against the glass as if trying to break through. Cracks began to spread across the surface. Suddenly, a freezing wind swept through the room, and the lights flickered. The shadow screamed, a sound that pierced Mia's ears. Then everything went silent. Mia decided to destroy the mirror. She grabbed a hammer and struck it with all her strength. The glass shattered into countless shards. But as the pieces fell, something dark spilled out. Thick, black smoke that filled the room. From the smoke emerged a figure, tall and skeletal, with glowing red eyes and long, clawed fingers. "You freed me," it hissed. its voice dripping with malice. Mia tried to run, but the figure was faster. It grabbed her arm with an icy grip. "You took my place," it whispered. The next morning, Mia's grandmother found her room empty. The mirror was whole again, sitting silently against the wall. When she looked into it, she screamed. Inside the glass, Mia's terrified face stared back, banging on the other side of the mirror, her mouth open in a silent scream. From the reflection, the shadow smiled. It had found a new home,